Okay, this whole video is basically going to explore one of the biggest joke characters in Dragon Ball Z. No, not Yamcha, although he is kind of the most pointless character next to Chaozu, who is pretty much a Pokemon at this point and the most useless thing ever, pretty much. No, I'm talking about Krillin. Krillin has this weird thing where he's kind of a joke character to everybody. He gets beat down, he gets beat up, he gets thrown around. um Everything but Dragon Ball, he's pretty much a joke. Dragon Ball, he kind of mattered. He trained with Goku. He brought himself up. He was pretty strong. He's just a human though. And once Dragon Ball Z came around, he started being the one that got killed the most, to the point where it almost became a running gag, bringing him back to life. He became this giant joke to the point where Team 4 Star has a Krillin owned count on their videos, and he's just this giant joke. Like, everyone thinks of him as a weak person, but when you really think about it, if this were anything like the real world, if we were anything close to any semblance of the real world, this guy would be a god. Like, think about it. He would be getting, chicks would be falling all over him. He'd be getting laid like 24/7. This guy is one of the strongest humans. He can stand up and fight along with these weird aliens called the Saiyans or the Super Saiyans. Oh wait, we're not yet to that part, but Super Saiyans. He went off to this planet and fought these different things, and he died and then came back. Like, he would be like having to push people away like 24/7. He would be like one of the most popular humans on Earth. But in that show, he's just kind of a joke. It's kind of pushed off to the side. He gets girls, but the girls usually just walk all over him. No, in the real world, it would be completely different. He'd be like one of the coolest guys ever. Like, he'd be on probably Time Magazine's Man of the Year thing. Only reason they wouldn't put Goku or any of the other people on there because they're aliens. It'd be kind of weird to put Alien of the Year on there. But anyway, like, he gets girls obviously in the series. He gets pretty hot girls, but they always walk all over him. Like, he's kind of portrayed as a wimp, which I think is unfair. Like, I feel like he's a lot stronger than like anyone gives him credit for, because he's just a guy. Like, he's just some guy that walked in. Like, Tien has that weird eye. I don't really consider him human because he's got that bizarre like little eye appendage thing, and he's got the Pokemon as his sidekick. Oh, sorry, different franchise. I mean Chaozu. Um, and he's got weird sort of psychic powers. Only thing Krillin can really do is just throw like discs at you. He can do energy blasts. He's just a guy. That's the amazing part of it. Part they never really touch on is that he's just a human. He doesn't have any like special powers beyond the ability to charge up and throw stuff at people, that kind of thing. And the person he ends up with is basically, for lack of a better term, a walking fleshlight. Like, I know that androids are technically, like he explains later on when he has kids, which that's a nightmare just trying to picture that with her being a robot. But apparently she's an android because, like, oh, she has human parts down there or something. And that's almost terrifying within itself. It puts Krillin in a really creepy light. Like, really, really creepy. But like, he ends up with this android, like this like robot thing, and kind of just quits fighting after like everyone laughing at him and being a joke and dying a bunch of times, which, I mean, who blames the guy? But yeah, he's one of the most underrated characters, and I think Toriyama after a while just started writing him as a wimp, because he didn't initially start out like that. He was originally a much stronger character who would, even though he was one of the weaker characters, would still stand up and fight even if he knew he had like a snowball's chance of even like doing any damage to the person. Like, he was brave because of that. Like, he would go up against something like he no chance of winning, like he would lose, but since it was his friend, he would still stand up even though he was scared. And they never really touch on that. They make Hercule more heroic looking than Krillin. Krillin's later on portrayed as a coward, which is a real shame, because I think he should have been able, like, Toriyama should have made him a little bit more powerful. He could have like played on that whole thing. It's like, he's just a guy. Yajirobe and everybody else, like, Yajirobe saved somebody one time and he got, like, I think mild acclaim for that. Krillin's up there fighting with them like all the time, almost every single battle. He at least lends some sort of help with them, and does he get any credit? No, not really. He's kind of a joke, which is really sad. But such is the way of Dragon Ball Z. I guess if you're not Goku or Gohan, which even Gohan got thrown under the bus after a while, then you're not important. Like it's just a longer rant that I could do, but like Krillin, like he could have been a bigger deal. Like if this were the real world right now, if there was some guy that could stand up with the other like really strong people, he would not be forced to resort to just an android. I don't know if he picked that or that's what he got stuck with, but he wouldn't be stuck to a thinking fleshlight, which is basically what that is. Hate to say it. And I don't even know what birth is like for those things. They just like lay eggs or like Cell does, like where he or like sorry, where Piccolo does, where he just shoots an egg out of his mouth. Like that must be horrible and terrifying just to even think about. But yeah, Krillin should be a bigger deal than he is, and he's not. End of video, I guess.